Coming up on Unpacked.
I used to hang around with a lot of the African people. I was the black sheep, basically.
You were the, excuse the pun.
And I was like, no, man, I don't think this guy will like me.
I went on my knees and asked her to be my official girlfriend.
That's when my mom felt comfortable telling my dad that I'm pregnant.
Oh, because it's easier to say, don't worry.
Yeah.
The
lobola is coming.
When two cultures come together, it can be complicated, but it can also be beautiful. Now, they refer to themselves as a Blasian couple, and they're here to share their story. Let's unpack. Tsoanelo and Johnson Tsu are a Blasian couple who met while studying at the University of Johannesburg in 2014. 8 years later, they are married with 3 children and have a 4th one on the way. Being an interracial couple, they have had their share of cultural differences, including odd looks and questions from the public, but have found love beyond race and culture. This is their story. Let's unpack. Tsoanelo and Johnson, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So why Blasian? I mean, we can just assume, but I'd prefer you to tell us.
I think it's sort of obvious that it's African, black and Asian. So yeah, when the two join, it becomes Blasian.
Okay, so talk to us about your Asian heritage and the journey of you actually coming to South Africa.
Well, to be honest, I think I'm black in my past, but that's why I'm living in South Africa.
Yes.
But culturally, obviously, born from 2 Taiwanese people. We came from Taiwan. I was born in Taiwan, but I came here when I was, I think, 1.5 years. So technically, I am a South African citizen. So
when you tell your story and people say, oh, I've got a Taiwanese friend, does that annoy you?
Not really, because there's not many of us.
Yes.
So you can only meet so many. Probably I know him.
Yes. And when at Tsoanelo, Mosotho, where are you from?
Mosotho from KZN. I don't know when my family moved to KZN, actually, because there's not a lot of Sotho people in KZN. But Mosotho, I go KZN, go Moto.
So I'm surprised that did you not become diluted into Muzulu?
50-50.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Zulu culture and I'm interested in it a lot, but I can't throw away my roots. I'm still Sotho anyway.
So in terms of dating, when you started realizing you are interested in girls, what were your preferences? And the reason I'm asking is because, you get people who are like, I only date black girls, or you get people who are like, I just fall in love with who I fall in love with.
I think in the beginning when I was younger, I didn't mind anything but Asian. I don't know why. I don't know if it was God instilling it in me to say that, your people are not for you. So go the other direction.
So when you say Asian, you're including all of Asia?
Yeah. Like whether it's Hong Kong, whether it's Korean, whether it's Japanese, it doesn't matter. I just was not attracted to them.
Yeah.
So I've dated amongst the other races, but none of my own.
But in terms of, your friendship circles as you were growing up, were you big in your Asian community, or you were just...
I was the black sheep, basically.
You were excuse the pun.
So in primary school, I used to hang around with a lot of black folks, locals, because our surrounding areas are around Davidson, Crystal Park. So I used to hang around with a lot of the African people. I don't know, I felt one within. And then in high school, it was a lot of Indians, also because initially when we came to South Africa, because my parents' English was not as great, so they sent us to our friend's house.
Yes.
And funny enough, they were Indian family, and so in school, I just molded more easily with them. And after school, I've hanged out with a whole lot of colored people in Recha Park, in Aldo's.
So you have quite a rich exposure to different cultures, very South African upbringing.
Yeah.
Yes. Were you like the Asian guy that we'd find in the hood buying kota?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh. And how would people, treat you when they saw you in the hood? I mean, we know now that there are many Asian folk in different hoods. many of them speak pure Setswana or pure Sesotho, so it's not really an anomaly at the moment. But when you were growing up, how would people treat you?
Sure. The first time I was in a township, it was Wattville. It was during a December holiday. I took a cab from Lakeside Mall
Yes.
to Wattville, and my parents didn't even know where I was going. But when I arrived, I didn't even know where I was going. So I had to
You
tell the
just
taxi
went.
driver, that I need to get off here. And once we got there, he was shocked because he didn't know if he must tell me to get off or I must tell him that I know where I'm going. So yeah, people were shocked, that there was an Asian guy in the hood, because that was back then, obviously. It was closer to the time of freedom.
So what were you doing? You
I
were
was just visiting
exploring.
friends, yeah.
Oh, you were visiting friends. You weren't just randomly going into a random hood.
No. Friends,
Okay.
friends, and then obviously that's where the girls, I think, came about, just seeing a whole lot of beautiful things.
Yes. What was your exposure like in terms of, was your upbringing very hood? Were you in a multiracial school? What was that exposure like for you?
I was never in a multiracial school. I've always been around Black people. So the first time I was around other races was in varsity. So
Wow.
Never, ever before varsity. So yeah.
And what were some of the perceptions you had in general that got dispelled when you got to varsity?
Firstly was that when I was growing up, I literally thought other races are richer than us financially.
Yes.
They drive more expensive cars, they dress more expensive than us. But when I got there, I realized that some of them were actually not as rich as us. Some Black people were actually richer than them. And
You were like, we all poor.
we the
I see,
same.
we poor.
and academically, I thought they did better than us, but I realized, no, it's actually the same.
Yeah.
It depends on the individual.
So I'm glad you're saying that, because it's so important to have real life experiences, or else these perceptions remain. Imagine the little Black child that grows up always thinking
things.
other races are smarter than me, or other races are this. So let's get to how the two of you met. I mean, I think we can already see you were already within. You were not within. So from your side, how did you guys meet?
We met in varsity when we were doing our second year. We had a mutual friend. It was a girl. So he'd come and hang out with us, but I never really paid attention to him. So we met in the second year. We just would be that high. Whenever he came around, I'd leave my friend with him. Like, okay, stay with your friend. And as time went on, I got used to him, and he was always around, so I had to get used to him. Then we started becoming friends. Then towards the end of our third year, which was our last year, we started... I think I started developing feelings for him. And then, we started dating after that.
Yeah.
What's your version? Because I feel like you guys don't agree on the story.
Yeah, no, but definitely we met through a mutual friend.
Yes.
This friend, it was actually my very first person that I came across in varsity, and somehow, because I think their characteristics were in sync, they became friends over time and at a much closer bond. And because we were both in a serious relationship,
with other people. Yes.
in the same class, in the same course, which is kind of weird, but
very incestuous.
yeah. And then because we were amongst the same people, because of this friend, you somehow like spend more time with this person, and then eventually feelings will arise, I think.
So I just, for interest's sake, I need to satisfy the viewers. Were feelings arising while you were with your significant others?
No.
No. We didn't even know each other until we broke up with our exes.
I got you. I
didn't even know she was in my class.
Yeah.
As in, like, you didn't actually notice each other?
Yeah, no, she noticed me because obviously of my skin color, and we're in Soweto campus, so I'm the only yellow boy.
Yeah, I can see. Why were you at Soweto campus anyways?
I don't know, maybe it was God's planning, because I was one of the... Well, I wasn't focused in school, so I was just scraping through. So I just wanted to go to varsity, get a degree, and...
You literally know that, there's a common belief that all Asians are super smart. So you saying you were scraping through, it does not combine.
No, it's not that. My wife says it's that I am smart. It's just that I'm lazy. So I choose, what I want to focus on. So I was just going to varsity to have the experience, I guess. And I always tell her that the only good thing that came out was us meeting. So, yeah.
Nina, oh, Bantu. Okay, so you guys meet And when you realized you had feelings for him, was there a part of you that were like, "Hi, but I'm not used to," you know?
Yeah, I definitely was like, no, I don't think he's even looking at me like that. So I didn't want to act on it. I didn't want to say anything because I felt like, I'm this girl from Forcelo. I'm not really fluent in English at the time. And I was like, no, man, I don't think this guy will like me. Especially because now I've already had a baby. Because I had a baby when I was in second year university. So he'll probably feel like it's a lot to handle. So I felt like, no, it won't work. And how is he going to tell his parents that I'm interested in a black girl who has a child? So I didn't want to act on it, and I didn't think it would happen. But I was surprised when he told me that he was actually also thinking that we should try something.
So who was it that said it first? Who was the one that broke that ice to be like, we both know what's happening here?
I think it was me.
I think.
Well, it has to be me. I think the man has to take the initiation, right?
Yeah.
As much as the girls can start with the feelings, but it takes the guy to, reignite that feeling within, or that spark within, to connect, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So you were like, okay, cool, I see what's happening. But I know you went out of your way to officially ask her out. What did you do?
So I booked a place during this time, like already, because what affirmed to me that this is the one that I want to have a serious relationship with, that I want to marry, was meeting her family, actually. So because
Did you meet
comes,
as dating or as friends?
as friends,
Okay.
as friends. So I met her mom and her dad and her son that time. And
Was this because you were giving her rides, picking her up?
yeah, from work. I got her the
Lifty and
job.
everything.
So yeah. But I mean, that was still, there was no like seriousness to it. There was just like, I'm showing you I'm a good friend out here, so yeah, you can ride along. And then eventually it became ride along.
So you met the family,
Yeah.
and what was it that you experienced that made you say, this is affirmed?
I think in South Africa, it's not very common that you have both parents in a household.
Yes.
We know absent fathers in South Africa is a big thing, as much as we see them every day. So yeah, that was one thing that affirmed to me that no, this child must come from a good background, that she has both parents still married to this day. And yeah, that's what affirmed to me that I want to also spend the rest of my life with her.
Are those, certain Asian principles that you still carry with you, where family is really important, honor your parents, respect your parents? Because I mean, that's also big in Black families.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a human thing that we want to feel loved and we want to be a part of and associated with something is not necessarily Asian or Black. All people want to be associated with the family and know that they are loved unconditionally.
Yeah. What were some of the misconceptions that you had about Asians in general that you had to meet him and be like, oh, okay?
They're actually different. The first thing was I thought they all looked the same.
No, it's just if you have not been exposed, you can't even tell the difference between someone who's Filipino, from the Philippines, or Chinese, or yeah.
I also didn't even know that there was that. To me, I thought all Asians are from China. They're all Chinese. Then when I met him and we'd go to China Mall, he'd tell me that this one is Philippine, this one is Korean. Then I started noticing now I can differentiate between all of them, and I can differentiate between his friends as well. So I thought they were the same. I thought they were very racist because I've never seen Asians amongst other races. Wherever I'd see them, they'd be like just as a group. So I never thought they'd ever let any other race come and become friends or whatnot. So those were the two biggest misconceptions I had, but I realized I was wrong.
Did you also have a belief, because I know a lot of Black people in the hood think all Asian people know martial arts?
Yes. Yes, I did. So I thought they eat snakes and rats as well. But
do you eat snakes and rats?
No, funny enough, I'm the direct opposite. We're vegetarian. My whole family is vegetarian.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, I've never tasted meats in
Wow.
any sort. Yeah.
Yes.
Unless by mistake.
Yes. And what are you Buddhist? Are you Christian? What are you practicing?
We believe in God, basically. We don't have a specific... Culturally, we are Buddhists, but, we just believe that there's a higher power at the end of the day. So all religions are the same. We all have the same principles. We're all trying to find this way back to heaven, I guess.
Were you concerned when you guys were getting together about, contradictions in belief systems?
Yes, I was. I worried a lot about the kids. What am I going to teach the kids? What are they going to speak? I worried about, are they going to respect my culture? Are they going to pay lobola? And I think my biggest problem was, are they going to pay lobola? Because my dad is not going to be happy if they don't want to. And when we get married, are they going to agree? And are we going to slaughter since they are vegetarian?
Yes.
So I was worried about all those things, but luckily our parents sat down and they had an agreement with in terms of all these things. So I think everything worked out well. Everything that
Let's pick it up from there, because I was going to ask, when did you decide she's the one you actually want to be with? How long had you been dating? And when were you like, okay, I want to marry you? Did you pop the question, or did you say, I'm sending uncles? What happened?
3 months in the relationship, I told her that I want to marry her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they say when a man knows,
He knows.
he knows. But you knew before you even asked her to be your girlfriend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, and you still have to take us back to how you officially asked her
Oh, yes.
to be the girlfriend. Yes.
Yeah, so I booked a place at this cheap little lodge because obviously we're in school here, so we didn't have much money. And then I put a little heart, roses, on the bed. I don't know what alcohol we got. And
Something cheap.
Yeah, something cheap, of course. I think it was guarana. And yeah, I think I got on my knees. I blindfolded her. We went for dinner first. And then after that, I brought her to this place. I blindfolded her. I told her I have a surprise for her. And then once we got into the room, I went on my knees and asked her to be my official girlfriend.
You see, guys, you can do it. Get on your knee and ask her to be your girlfriend. That's very sweet and romantic. How did you take that?
It was very nice. I wasn't expecting it because I was coming from work. I was working for retail at the time. So he had picked me up from work. I thought he was going to drive me straight home. Then he tells me, no, I'm going to take you out for food. I love food, so I was happy. And then after we ate, then he took me there. I had never seen that before. I never thought I'd ever experience it. I thought it only happens in movies. So I told him, I always tell him that whenever I'm with you, our life, I feel like we're acting. Someone is going to come and say, cut the cameras, because he's always been like that.
Yes.
So I was very excited when it happened. I almost cried. I don't really cry, but I almost cried that day because I never thought something like that would happen. Someone would do that for me. And I was happy and I was like, yeah, I know, this is the one.
Oh, so then you decide you want to marry her. How did you tell her that, listen, I want to do this?
She actually rejected me the first time I told her.
Ah, girl, good for you. You must test.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. So she was testing me because we didn't really know each other as much as we were friends. I think she felt that we were not ready. Also because we were only in, third year. So, we don't have a job, we're not stable. I'm sure she had more thoughts than I did. I was just like, I want to marry you.
So you said, let's wait, or you said, hell no?
I said no, because I never wanted to get married. So I told him.
In general?
In general, I was like, no, I don't
Wow.
want to get married. Because in my mind, I wanted to have a partner that I'm committed to. We can have kids, we can live together, but I never wanted to sign anything. So I had expressed that to him. So when he started talking about marriage, I didn't understand why he'd do that. So I told him, no, I can't get married. Because I don't want to get married.
Some couples, when the woman rejects a marriage proposal, actually break up.
Yeah.
So what was your guys' agreement that you continued anyways? Were you just like, she's eventually going to change her mind? Or you're like, whether we married or not, I just want to be with you?
No, I think my now wife, she always, if she wants to reject something, she'll say it in a very nice way that it's understandable, that you understand where she's coming from, that we're young, we're not financially stable. What is your parents going to think? Have you spoken to them? These questions that I didn't actually sit down and think to myself, realistically, is it going to make sense at this point in time? So, yeah.
So how did you eventually convince her to, let's do this?
Sure. I think it was not a very good situation. We were pregnant at the time. So,
which I'm assuming both your cultures, one can look down on in inverted commas that child out of wedlock and all of those things. Did your parents have the same feelings about that?
Yeah.
And for you, it being your second child, did your parents also have feelings of like...
They did.
Yes, yes. So you were pregnant. Did the parents know it was still between the two of you?
Yes, they knew.
They knew.
But I almost got kicked out that day.
You need to tell us what happened.
Yeah, my mom was not having it. She had a child, so that was already a bad image.
Yes.
Now that we are pregnant, that's another whole situation. What are you doing? So you're not. Clearly, we see what you're doing at school. You're clearly not at school. Doing what you're So yeah.
Because you guys were still in.
Yeah, we were studying Adha Kama Sutra. So yeah, I think they didn't take it. My dad because my dad is a very calm guy, which is I think where I get the calmness from. He was more understanding. Obviously, he was not happy. I don't think he slept that night because I told him at I think 9 o'clock, I told him, yo, listen, I need to speak to you. Because she's been telling me that, yo, I need to tell my parents. And I'm like, yeah, I will. It's just that, that nerves. When you're pregnant, and you're not married, obviously it'll come off. You don't know how it'll come out, it will turn around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How did you tell your parents?
For me, it was not as difficult as for him because I'd already spoken to my parents that I'm going to have kids, but I'm not going to get married. So the problem was I wasn't really stable yet. Yes, I was working on campuses where I had some money, but it wasn't going to be enough to raise 2 kids. So my mom already knew. I told my mom my plans. My dad sometimes I'd omit some of the things I want to do because he's really strict. So I told my mother first, and my mother was like, no, it's fine. I know you've always said you want to have kids, but then what are you going to do now? Because you've got 2 kids from different fathers. Are you going to get married now? What's going to happen? Then I just said to my mom, I don't know. I'll see what happens because for me, what I wanted is actually happening. I wanted to have kids without getting married.
Yes.
And I'm committed to this guy.
Yes.
So for me, I don't see a problem.
Yes.
Then she was like, no, but your dad won't understand because he's from a different time. Then I asked her to tell my dad. Then she said, not yet. I'll tell him. Then he kind of spoke to me about marriage because I felt like he did what I wanted him to do, which was let's have kids without getting married. And then I knew that he always wanted to get married. Then I thought he sacrificed his values and principles for me. So maybe I can do the same thing. Getting married to him won't be such a bad idea because he's a good guy and I've never thought I'd end up with someone like him.
Yeah.
Then I figured, okay, let's get married. Then he spoke about lobola. That's when my mom felt comfortable telling my dad that I'm pregnant.
Oh, because it's easier to say, don't worry.
Yeah.
The
lobola is coming. So she actually first showed my dad the letter, and then she told him that, she's pregnant already.
Oh my God, your mom has the
Yeah, she's
strategy. So you wrote the letter yourself?
Yeah, I wrote the letter myself. I made a copy.
Was the letter the one that says, ka Sotho ka so ba re go senyegile, as in something has been damaged or broken in your home? Was that the letter, or was the letter saying, listen, I want to marry your child?
No. Obviously, because my parents, they're not good with obviously English. And all my uncles are not here because I moved here with my immediate family.
Yes.
So I personally wrote the letter. I just was obviously like, double check, this is what I said. But what I said is because I got some guidance from her, I said what I think a lot of people say, I found this beautiful flower in your garden and I would like to, put a ring on it type of thing. So I sent the letter to, I think it was you or your mom.
So you never had to do the letter that says, while I was looking at the flower, I also broke it.
No. I think that's where the mom interjected. She said, if you guys want to marry, you make this thing simpler, I think. And that's where she helped us. Yeah.
So you had already chosen for yourself because, you've been growing up around black people. You already knew about the concept of lobola. You had decided this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
What did your parents say when you said, guys, this is what happens in this culture and this is what I've decided to do? We're not just doing the marriage thing. We also have to do dowry and.
I think in our culture also we have something similar. It's just not as hectic as Africans have it.
Yes.
That there's prices and things to it. For us, it's about paying for the wedding.
Yes.
So all your guests, all their meals, it's on the guy's side. And then on the woman's side, usually there's this gold sheeping, which means like a wedding cake.
Yes.
It's a small little pineapple cake or red bean cake that we give to all the guests that are going to be coming, and she pays for that. So it's a 50-50 thing.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So the lobola thing, I think it was also a funny story. It was myself and my father who was negotiating.
Ooh, you already broke all the rules. So you represented yourself
Yeah.
at the negotiations. And how was the experience for you?
Sure, it was intimidating, obviously.
Did you also have to translate for your father in the proceedings?
Yes.
Okay.
But he does understand English. It's just obviously here and there you'll have
Yes.
to interject just to explain in detail what
Yes.
it means. We almost didn't have an agreement, but somehow, some way, I think with their parents agreeing, it came back positive.
Did you do that thing where you tip? You find out from your father what he wants and then you tip so that when he goes in, they have an idea?
I did. I asked his parents to come and speak to my dad even prior to the date, to the lobola date. When my uncles are here, they can't talk about anything. So we arranged a meeting for both our parents to meet and talk about, like my dad must explain to his father what lobola is about.
Yes.
Then, so that when they come on the actual date, he knows what's happening.
Yes.
And I told my dad, please don't overcharge him because I want to marry this guy.
And we need that money.
And we need, of course.
We got 2 kids.
So, but my dad was very understanding about the whole thing. He was actually impressed that they wanted to do it because he was expecting them not to even budge.
Yes. So everything went well. Did you also do a white wedding? Did you do a church part of the wedding? Did you do vows and all those traditional white wedding things?
Yes.
Yes,
We had 3 weddings over the same weekend. So it was first the white wedding, then we had the Sotho wedding, and then the following day we had the Chinese wedding.
Oh my goodness. So what were some of the rituals or things that happen in a Chinese wedding?
Basically, what is different from Africans, very different, is that you coming as a guest, you usually give a red envelope. And you would obviously have to have an amount. It's all about money, basically.
Yes.
So your amount has to cover however many people that you're coming with. So if it's 5 people in a family, you got to cover enough for the table for you guys. Whereas I believe locally, you just bring a gift and you're invited.
And you eat.
And you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat and drink. Yes,
So that's something different. I think we believe in keeping the money within, I think.
Yes.
Almost like the Jewish in a way. It's for you because they understand that a marriage is only the first step. You don't have money now. So let's keep things at where you started and then let's elevate from there rather than let you decline and still have to catch up.
Hey, we Africans love declining at the beginning, starting marriage in a negative and working your way up. I got you. Did your extended family make it from Taiwan to the wedding?
Did they? No, they didn't.
No, they weren't.
It was my sister's wedding, sorry. I'm getting mixed up.
Yes. And how did your extended family take to the whole experience of, having a Chinese wedding?
A lot of them didn't believe that I'm actually getting married to this guy. So they wanted to see and believe that it's actually happening. Most of them were saying if it was a white guy, we'd believe it. But a Chinese guy, there's no way. So, but I think they were excited. Most of them were very excited. They wanted to see the culture. They wanted to meet his family because they had never met prior. And I think it was just excitement for everyone.
Yeah. So fast forward to where you are now. You guys have 3 children.
Yes.
1 on the way.
Yes.
So the family is growing. And it's been how many years that you've been together in total?
Sure.
6, 7.
Yeah, this is the 7th year.
I trust the woman.
Yeah,
How long? I don't trust you.
6 going to 7.
6 going to 7. Okay, did you actually decide to, formally adopt her first child?
Yeah, because our son was few months only. So he basically knew me from birth, essentially, yeah.
Yeah. And how do you deal with, you were saying one of your concerns is, what are you going to teach the kids? How do you find that balance of marrying the 2 cultures together within the household?
Should I take that one?
Yeah.
I think what helps the most is having our parents around, because I believe that between the 2 of us, we don't really know a lot about our cultures. We know just a bit here and there. But having our parents around, they help us. They let us know this is the right time to teach the child which language to speak. Whereas the first language that our kids are taught is English, because we speak English at home. Then as they grow, we start teaching them Mandarin. They attend Mandarin school to learn how to speak Chinese. And then at home, I teach them how to speak Sesotho, just on the language side, just so that they are rich in culture. They need to be excited about being in a mixed family. And then I think the language is the biggest thing. There's nothing else there's no other hectic African things that I want to practice with them, because I don't want him to feel like I'm Asian, but now you're doing all these African things on the kids. And also, I think it's the same for him. But the one thing that we stress the most is the language, and I think how you guys pray, how Asians pray and stuff. So he teaches them that.
Yeah.
And how different is that from what you are used to practicing, which I'm assuming is Christian?
Yes, I'm Christian.
Yes.
It's different. It's very different. I can't do it.
Yeah, obviously it's in Mandarin,
Yeah.
so it's different to them, and it's a prayer that's brought down from Emperor's time.
Yes.
So very old prayer. And then, going to English schools that teach you how to pray, you can pray about anything and everything, and they usually pray on their knees in the bedroom, or
Yeah.
it could be at school or whatever it is. But for us, it's a prayer room. We call it a holy house, and it's a morning and evening prayer. So the morning prayer is for us to be thankful that we are awake, and we just give grace to God. And then even the evening, it's the same prayer, but the essence behind it is for us to repent. So anything
Yes.
that we didn't fulfill during this day, we ask for forgiveness and a chance to
Yes.
remedy that situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you learning Mandarin?
Yes.
How's that coming along?
It's very difficult. But I think it's easier with the kids because I pick up when he speaks to the kids. Because one of our kids can speak fluently now. So I pick up when they speak, and then I'll ask, what does that mean? Then the following day, I'll
You are
say,
in trouble. They're going to talk about you.
They're gonna gossip
learn
about
it
me.
very quickly. And for you as well. Are you learning Sesotho?
I can understand it more than I can
Yes.
speak it. Yeah, the tongue twisting, it's sure. It's not easy.
Zama, just Zama. I mean, and obviously the Sotho groups of
Yes,
languages
it's
are
different.
very similar. So I'm sure you were exposed to a bit of Setswana.
Yeah, more Zulu actually. From growing up.
Actually?
Yeah. Like I can understand more Zulu. Probably my tongue is easier to Zulu.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but their people say that Sotho is closer to Mandarin. Like there's certain words that sound
people
the same
say
thing, but
that.
means
I
the
also
same
don't
thing.
understand it.
So I have heard that joke. I don't believe it's true, but I've heard that joke where they'll say like, "Hey, it's
the same.
It sounds like it's
not the same. It
It's
does
not the.
sound-
It sounds like it, but it's not,
not.
the same. So I have heard that joke before. How do people actually react to you? Because you guys are quite an open couple on social media. You're comfortable with people's curiosities coming to talk to you about it. But just on the street in jail on a normal day, when you're out at the mall or whatever the case may be, how do people respond to you?
It depends on where we are.
So give me the most extreme.
When we're in the township, whenever people see him, they'll be doing they'll be saying, oh, it's China. Or they'll be doing those martial art movements when they see him. Of which I think you got used to it by now.
Yeah,
So those are the most extreme things. And we don't know how to react to that. Because some people are trying to actually communicate with us, but they don't know what to say.
Yes.
So they start doing those things, then they'll get our attention. It depends on how the person looks when they do it. Are they smiling? Then we'll talk to them. But if they're not smiling, then we're scared to even address the issue.
Yes.
But by Benoni, when we're in the suburbs, people don't really care.
Yes.
People don't really care. They don't really notice that we're even different.
Are you bothered by, being in the hood and having kids do karate or whatever else in front of you? Or is it just really entertaining?
No, it's not entertaining. It's actually, in personal opinion, obviously it comes across racist if you actually sit down and think about it.
Yes, because it's such a terrible stereotype.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think our people are very reluctant to it. We don't pay any attention to it. I mean, there's much more important things than to worry about somebody who's going to be here, doing moves that's, with one strike, we'll finish you. And sometimes it's funny, if it's in a township or the rural areas that we go to, people, depending how they react, sometimes I can, because we here at an event, might as well entertain it, But then I'll speak Vernac to them, and then I'll say Tamai, hey.
And then they're shocked.
Because now they think they speaking Mandarin, but I come with their own tongues. Then then we can see who's actually fighting with one another. Yeah.
As an Asian person, what would you want South Africans to know about either things that are racist or misconceptions they have? What would you want people to actually know and get about you?
Sure. I think it's that thing of, making comments. Comments are, especially if you don't know the essence behind it, if it's just something that you saw in a movie and you don't know what's the meaning behind it, and if you say it, already that's racist, and you don't know how it will affect this person in the long run, I know people of my color that were so affected by it that they moved back, just because they couldn't handle that.
Really?
Yeah, but others, like I'm saying, most of our people, we're reluctant to that, and we just let it go.
Yes.
Whereas if I was to come back and say the same thing to you guys, that you guys are the K word, things change,
Yes,
and then
yes.
obviously then it's a whole big hoo-ha,
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Taiwan?
No, not yet.
When are you going?
Yet. We were planning to go in 2020, and then the pandemic happened, and then I had a baby, and now I'm pregnant again. So we keep postponing. I'm hoping that we'll be able to go at the end of this year.
Yes. Are you looking forward to meeting the extended family?
I know them. They've been coming. They came twice already. I know his family. I'm just a bit scared about as well, like how are the people going to receive me that side? Because a friend of mine once went, she's also Asian, and she told me that she only saw like 2 black people the whole time she was there. So I am a bit worried about how am I going to get received when I get that side? Are people going to be judgmental? Are people going to receive me? Are they going to love me or what? But I think I need to go through it.
Yes.
To know.
Look, at least you're not just going on your own as a tourist.
Yes.
You're going to be cushioned by the fact that you're with your husband and
His family.
family is there.
Yes.
I think your love story is absolutely beautiful. Interracial relationships happen all the time. But obviously when cultures that are quite different come together, it is fascinating. Hence the interest in the both of you on things like social media. I'm so grateful that you came just to have a chat with us and to show us that it really doesn't matter how different you are. Like if you have a common goal, you're going to figure it out. If one doesn't practice lobola, families can actually come together and say, let's do this or let's not do this. Final words from your side.
I would just like to tell people that some people receive us well, so I don't have a problem with those ladies at the retail stores who will ask me, where did you meet him? Does he have an uncle? Does he have a brother? Give me his number. I love those people.
Yes.
I actually appreciate it when people come to me and they talk to me about it. When they're inquisitive, they must come and ask me. I appreciate those who already do it, but I'd like to encourage people to actually ask rather than assume and then start having loud conversations behind our backs about our relationship. Just come and ask if there's something that you want to know. If you find us interesting, come and ask because we're always open to answer whatever question you have. No matter how extreme it is, we'll always answer the question. So just ask.
And on your side?
I think for the bigger, mass of South Africans, I think it's important for us to get to know each other on a personal level and also explore. I mean, like you're saying, love is a beautiful thing. And I also want to thank you for this opportunity. It's such importance for us, considering that we're a rainbow nation, that we need to start, opening our minds to this. As much as we all have our own personal, way of thinking and way of doing things. I know my people also are a bit hesitant towards your people, but vice versa. We just need to open our hearts and let love do the thing.
Let love do the thing. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through.
Thank you for having us.
#Unpacked with Relebogile. Yes, there's that fascination with interracial relationships because you're on the outside and you can't in your mind even picture how 2 different cultures can come together. But our couple here today has shown us how possible it is. And for me, it's all about love always winning. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. Next time on Unpacked. So you guys are literally heirs to taxi thrones.
Focus on your car. They gave you the car in the morning to go work. Focus on that. Ensure you bring it back home. Ensure there's money. That's rule number 1.
But you're always fighting us drivers on the road. Like, why?
Aren't you fighting us?
No!
And it's like, how? But I asked you, we're looking at each other. I'm like, and then you're still like,
I've never had.
you're still like,
Thank you so much for watching Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. Make sure you subscribe to my channel where you can get to watch more episodes. But more importantly, you can be part of our online community. Comment down below, share with us who you'd like to see on the show, what story you'd like us to discuss. We love engaging with you. Keep it coming and don't forget to subscribe.